step behind the piano there. Could be bad.
That's okay. Unlike your sermons, mine's only 2 pages.
Very good.
Before I begin, let me just point out, I did steal the palms for Palm Sunday in 1994. Because there was a postal problem and we never got ours. So at 7:20 a.m. I drove right over here and raided the church. Okay, here we go. You guys ready? A little nervous. There we go. Hello, CTV.
Hello, David.
Hello, CTV. Hello. In the immortal words of Riff Raff, Magenta, Columbia, and the Rocky Horror Picture Show, let's do the time warp again! Do you remember the interval of time when the Space Shuttle Challenger successfully completes mission STS-41B, its 10th such mission? We all knew what happened a couple missions later. The Soviet Union was still a powerhouse, and they just boycotted the Olympics. Here's one that's interesting. An F5 tornado touched down here in Wisconsin, killing tons of people and wiping out an entire town. That town's name was? Barnville. Yeah, the Barnville disaster, remember? It's my favorite. The Highway 15 drive-in movie theater right across the street was playing blockbuster hits like War Games and Nightmare on Elm Street. Then it also got wiped out by a tornado. Michael Jackson dominated the airwaves, although a young punk hottie from Detroit named Madonna was busting on the scene with a Like a Virgin album. An unheard of quarterback named Aaron Rodgers was born. Ronald Reagan just finished his first term as president. CD-ROMs were just coming out onto the scene. Mike Caldwell was the Brewers ace. Our drummer was not even 2 years old. Our pastor was just getting into 3rd grade. Gasoline was $1.14 a gallon. Less than 2% of households had a computer. If they did, it was probably a Commodore 64 or a VIC-20, unless they had the cash for a brand new Apple. Cell phones weren't invented yet, internet and email didn't exist, and Lynn Dickey was the Packers quarterback. Yes, it has been that long. Today I stand before you humble and proud. Proud by what I've been able to accomplish here, and humbled by what I have witnessed in the actions of Christ through all of you. My friends and family, today is not about me. It doesn't work that way. It's not it at all. You see, today is all about you. It's all about you. It's because of you I played with a cast on my left hand for 4 weeks. Do you remember that? Pastor Schimble, you would, right? Remember when I broke my hand? It's because of you I drove back from the Grateful Dead concert, Soldier Field, Jerry's last show. It's because of you I ride my bike through the lousy winter weather to get here. It's because of you that I typed up all the song sheets, made bulletins, copied and folded them for decades. And the list goes on and on. It's all because of you, CTV. When I arrived here, I was 5'7", 140 pounds wet. I couldn't even drive a car, and now I'm saying goodbye with 17 gray hairs on the side of my head and bifocals. Here's a scary number: 3,280. 3,280. That's a lot of church. How much church is that? You'd have to go to church every Sunday, one service every week, of every month, of every year for more than 63 straight years. That's been that many services. But I did it every Sunday, decade after decade. David, get your tail to church at 7 o'clock in the morning and prepare for worship. And I did it. And for many years, there was only two people here when I'd come, me and, God bless her, little Marge Cassicker, who would always have cookies ready for me. So, Sundays, Christmas Eves mornings, Easter sunrises mornings, midweek Lents, midweek Advent, Sunday school rehearsals and programs, weddings, all the funerals, and the incredibly awesome Tuesday night candlelights. If you never saw that service, you missed something really special. Through all of the colds and flus and strep throat, headaches, hangovers, being tired, etc., the service must go on, bulletins must be made. 3,280 is truly amazing. Through all of these individuals, Pastor Don Shambo, there he is, Pat Johnson, Timbo McIntosh, Ed Ruin, and Brian Hooper, with interim pastors Haney, Weiscotton, Miller, Queeber, Roll, and of course, General Zod. At least 48 guest and visiting pastors I could think of, and 4 guest visits. Wow. So before I leave you today, please remember this was not an easy decision for me to make. Obviously, you guys know that. But I think it's time for my turn to go and rest. Rest. In Luke chapters 5 and 9, we read about Jesus doing somewhat of the same thing. Going away to rest, getting away from it all and everybody, just go and rest, dude. And so for me, I think it's my turn. And so I'm very much looking forward to rest. And maybe for the first time in my life, going to see Lambeau Field. But I'm always working, I couldn't go see it. So let me end this with 6 confessions that I have to make. They're all true, right? They're all true. Confession number 1. When Pastor Shambo hired me that fateful weekend of Christmas, I had no idea what a Lutheran was. I knew the word, but I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know about any of this stuff. But if someone were to ask me now today, what is a Lutheran? I definitely can tell you the answer. Lutherans, in my opinion, what I believe that word means, are the kindest, most gracious people I have ever known. They give everything of themselves to each other and to this incredibly awesome place. And then, as if it wasn't enough, they have enough juice left in the tank to give to those people outside this place with the amazing mission work that we do. Don't cry. That's what a Lutheran means to me. Does that sound okay? Now, I might draw a lightning bolt on this next one. Confession number 2. I was never confirmed. I never took First Communion classes. I never attended Sunday school or enrolled in a Sunday school program. I didn't do the catechism things or anything else. Church was not a part of my life. Yeah, sure, Mom and Pop would drag me to church on the occasional holiday or something like that. But that was it for me. So you can only imagine as a kid how blindsided I truly was to all of this. But I did it. I did it. I took it in as best I could, and I did what I could to enhance what you all do here. So what do you think? Will the Lord give me a pass and all those other things? Confession number 3. On occasion, I may have borrowed a few of the songs that we sing. That's all I'm saying about it. Confession number 4. It was I who in 1983 knocked all your fences down. Yes, a grumpy old man who I found out later was named Dick Byerly kept putting them back up. But that didn't stop me from knocking down the fences over and over. Dick, is he here or is he with us? Well, tell him he was blocking the pond, and you know that's my pond, so I had somebody to knock those fences down. That's a long time ago. Confession number 5. I can never thank you all enough for everything you've done for me in my life. That's truly impossible, and you know that. I've missed someone for something that you've done, and that would not be cool, not cool at all. So let me just say, thank you, CTV. Thank you for everything, and I mean everything. Now, this is a tough one. Oh. Jake isn't here. But let's do a time warp. It's the first Sunday of Christmas. CTV just went through a lousy fall. All Saints, Christ the King, Advent, and Christmas Eve with no musician. Remember? Some of you were here. It was a sad time at CTV. Total bummer. So I'm out playing on the pond. Pastor Shambo chases me off the ice, dumps a pile of books in my hands, and says, "You're playing tomorrow." Of course, he forgot to mention you don't have a piano. And so I attack pianos, as you can see. I love attacking pianos. It's just what I do. But instead, in the back left corner, you have something called an Allen organ system. With 65 buttons, 26 stops, layers, 3 layers of keys, and they're really thin, like for a hobbit to play. 42 foot pedals, and if you touch them, they go. And I still was able to get through the service. And so, anyways, all the songs, the liturgy responses on an instrument I had no training on. It's not the same. It's not the same. Okay? I didn't even know what a Kyrie was, and bonus points for anyone here who can name the closing song. Bright and glorious is the sky, radiant are the heavens on high. I still remember practicing that. The people left the church. They walked out over the tile floor carrying their folding chairs out. I didn't know any of you, and you didn't know me. And yet, an old man came up to me. He shook my hand. He introduced himself, and then, of all things, he thanked me. He thanked me for being here. He asked me about what kind of music I like, what kinds of sports I like to play. He was so nice to me, and it meant everything to me that he did that for me. Imagine if you were just a kid and put in that position, how much it would mean to you. And so I must say, thank you. Can you pass it along? To Jake Gruel. Jake, you made all the difference for me in those early weeks. I'd ride my bike over after school, and you hooked me up with the old geezer that knew how all the buttons worked and showed me how all the stops worked. You even took me to Burger King, and you helped me make sense of the service. I never forgot any of it, Jake. So please tell Jake I'd like to get a little bit better. I can't thank you enough for what you did for me in those first few weeks. You were the first friend I made. And so finally, confession number 6. Nothing I have done with my life, nothing could possibly do what remains of it could ever compare to this. So thank you. 3,280 services. And here's a scary number, 7. 7 Sundays, all these years, you had to get someone to cover for me because I couldn't be here. That's it. 7 Sundays. Please give Josh, where is he? There he is. Please give Josh the same warm welcomes you've given me. He will be awesome. Bobby, thank you so much for being the guy at the store. Sue, Christina, Gospel Choir, thank you so much. And the rest of you, it's been just an honor to serve you. So you take care of yourselves, CTV. I cherish the time I spent with you and the time I have spent in this place. God bless you. Thank you.
Dedicated. I can't believe 7 Sundays out of 28 years. Wow. Dedication.